right? Diving in today, and we're getting our hands dirty with manual handling. All those boxes and equipment and stuff we wrestle with at work.
Right, right.
And we've been digging through a ton of safety training materials and workshop guides, trying to boil it down to the essential stuff that'll help everyone stay safe and healthy out there.
Absolutely, because manual handling, it really is anytime you use your body to move something or even just to support it.
Yeah.
It could be lifting, lowering, pushing, pulling, anything like that.
Makes sense.
It sounds simple enough, but, it's a huge contributor to workplace accidents.
It's crazy how often we probably do it without even thinking.
Yeah.
And the stats are pretty alarming.
Yeah, they are.
It's like 1 in 3 workplace accidents are tied to manual handling. And almost half of those, it's your back that gets hit the hardest.
Yeah, that's right.
So this isn't just about avoiding a bit of soreness. It's about keeping people healthy and productive in the long run.
Absolutely, for sure.
So what are some of the things that can actually make manual handling go wrong? Like, what are the common culprits?
Well, sometimes it's just not even knowing, like not being aware of the risks.
Right.
But bad posture is a big one. And doing the same movements over and over again, that repetition, and even just somebody's general physical condition, that can all play a part.
Okay.
And then the environment itself is really important. Vibration, having to work in cramped spaces, floors that are slippery, having to reach awkwardly for things.
Yeah.
All of those things can contribute.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So the consequences, obviously we can think of those immediate things like cuts, bruises.
Yeah.
If you slip or lift something wrong.
Absolutely, yeah.
But there's that whole other category of problems that develop over time.
That's right.
And those can really have a lasting impact on someone's life.
It's true. And it's fascinating, how often these musculoskeletal disorders pop up. We call them MSDs for short. And those can affect muscles, tendons, bones, nerves, everything, really.
Oh.
Think about, someone with constant back pain from years of lifting heavy boxes.
Right.
Or maybe they develop a trapped nerve in their wrist from, say, packing things in an awkward position. That's actually a specific type of MSD called a work-related upper limb disorder, or dullerold.
Gotcha. So these aren't just aches and pains. They're serious conditions.
Yeah, that's right.
And what's really concerning is that these physical problems can snowball into mental health issues, too.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Stress and anxiety can come along with it.
Yeah, for sure.
So how do we actually get a handle on these risks? I know a lot of the materials we looked at talk about a framework called LIGHT.
LIGHT, yeah.
So what is that all about?
LIGHT is a good way to remember the key things to consider when you assess risk.
Okay.
So it stands for load, individual, task, and environment.
All right, so break that down for us.
So load, that's not just about how heavy something is, but also its size and shape, how easy it is to grip, even if it's hard or cold.
Right.
Individual, that refers to the person's physical capabilities, any training they have, their general health.
Okay.
Then there's task, which covers the types of movements involved, how often and for how long they're doing those movements, and the posture they need to maintain.
Gotcha.
And finally, environment, that's about the workspace itself, like the layout, the conditions.
That makes sense. So when we look at load, a small box could be tricky if it's awkwardly shaped.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas a heavier one might be easier if it has good handles.
Absolutely.
And with individual, it's interesting. The HSE actually has guidance showing that team lifting capacity isn't just a simple multiplication.
Right.
2 people lifting a 90-kilogram weight isn't necessarily safer than 1 person lifting 45 kilograms.
Exactly, yeah.
It's not that straightforward.
No, it's all about coordination and communication.
Okay, and then the task assessment, that's about really breaking down the details of the job.
Yeah.
So is it just lifting, or are there twists and bends involved?
Right.
How long are they doing that for? What kind of posture do they need to be in?
Exactly. All of that.
And then with the environment, it's like you were saying, so many things can come into play.
Yeah.
Cramped spaces, forcing you to reach awkwardly, slippery floors, increasing the risk of falls.
Exactly.
Even something like temperature can be a factor.
Oh, for sure.
Like working in really cold conditions or in a really hot, humid environment.
Yeah.
And then if you're outside, even wind can affect things when you're moving materials.
Absolutely, yeah.
So there's a lot to think about there.
There is, for sure.
Now, another thing that came up a lot in the materials was ergonomics.
Ergonomics, yeah.
So can you explain what that's all about?
Ergonomics is basically about designing the job to fit the person doing it.
Okay.
It's all about reducing strain and making things safer and more comfortable.
Makes sense.
The word itself actually comes from the Greek words for work and laws.
Interesting.
So it's like there's a science to making work fit the human body.
Right. So it's not just about being comfy.
No, not at all.
It's about applying these laws of work to actually prevent injuries.
Exactly.
And we see that in practice, right? Like trying to keep your arms in a neutral position rather than having to twist them.
Yeah.
Make sure everything you need is within easy reach.
Right.
Using things like adjustable desks and anti-fatigue mats.
Absolutely.
And that all ties into biomechanics, right?
It does, yeah.
So how does biomechanics fit into this whole picture?
Well, biomechanics is the science of how our bodies move, all the forces involved, how we maintain our balance.
Right, right.
And understanding that helps us define those safe zones for lifting.
Safe zones. What are those?
So it's about recognizing that you can safely lift less weight if you're picking something up from floor level or reaching above your shoulders, compared to lifting something that's about waist height.
That makes sense.
So the safe lifting weight actually changes depending on where the load is in relation to your body.
Interesting. So practically speaking, when it comes to lifting safely, what are the key things people should keep in mind?
Well, some of the most important techniques are, making sure you have a stable stance, maintaining good posture, keeping the load close to your body, and using your legs to power the lift, not your back. Keep your head up, avoid twisting.
Okay, good advice.
But beyond just the techniques, there's this whole concept called the hierarchy of control.
The hierarchy of control, what is that?
It's a way of thinking about how to control risks in a structured way.
Okay.
So the first thing you ask is, can we eliminate the need for manual handling altogether?
Right.
If not, can we substitute the load with something lighter or easier to handle?
Gotcha.
And then if that's not possible, we look at engineering controls. Like, can we use mechanical aids or redesign the workspace to make things easier?
Okay.
After that, we have administrative controls like training programs and job rotation. And then finally, as a last resort, we have personal protective equipment.
So it's about working through those options in order.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Starting with the most effective ways to control the risk.
Yeah, that's right.
So taking all of this together, I guess the big takeaway is that understanding these principles,
Yeah.
thinking ergonomically, and applying this hierarchy of control,
Yeah.
those are all really important for minimizing risk and creating a workplace where everyone can be healthy and productive.
Absolutely. That's the goal.
So, we've been talking about this in the context of work,
Yeah.
but it makes you wonder, right? How often do we do things in our everyday lives that could use some of these same principles?
Oh, all the time.
Just little things that we could do differently to avoid unnecessary strain and injuries.
Yeah, it's worth thinking about.
Even just lifting grocery bags or moving furniture around the house.
Yeah, absolutely.
Small changes could actually make a big difference in the long run. Something to ponder after this deep dive.
Definitely food for thought.
All right, thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
Glad to be here.
See you next time.
Sounds good.